Yo, what's up, guys? It's Shujin here, and today for Comic Talk, we're going to be talking about the so far weird, bad future for DC Comics. And what I mean by that is their current lineup slash setup for future issues to take place at I'm going to call it new continuity slash reboot continuity they're doing with Death Metal slash did with Death Metal. For example, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't read the last issue of Death Metal, but apparently they retconned the very first, basically they retconned every single crisis we've seen in DC Comics, which they highlighted the most was the very first crisis we saw in DC Comics that brought Justice League together when they did the very first reboot with because it was all messed up and stuff. But right now what I'm talking about is Future State. And I'm starting to think that DC no longer knows what it is exactly they're trying to do slash need slash want to do with their characters. And for example, take Superman, like I did in my last video. They know that at some point they're going to have to, they don't have to, but they're going to need to, at least for a couple issues like they're doing right now, make John Superman, because that's just something everybody wants to see outside of Connor being Superman, the clone of Superman. And I feel like Future State is a good chance for him to do that without making it too important. But at the same time, they're just not really living up to their own expectations, let alone the expectations of everybody who reads their own comics or their comics. And what I mean with this for the most is DC, per the last year, I would say, doesn't know what to do with their heroes. They don't know how to replace them. They don't know how to make them special. They don't even know how to make sidekicks to heroes or variations. For example, right here. And, it's right. Okay. So, for example, the new Flash they made, they did 3 things with her that I'm guessing someone in a board meeting said this is going to appeal to a wide crowd of people. The first and very obvious thing you can tell is she's handicapped. I'm just going to call it like it is. She's handicapped. She has no legs, or at least no lower legs below the knees. And on top of that, she is black and she's female. Those 3 things are like the most common material nowadays to try and create either a new superhero or a better version of a superhero, or even just making a sidekick. Okay, I don't know why, but it's just very common. And I'm gonna say like it was like 6 months ago, probably not even there, probably maybe less than that. I had posted on my Instagram page about this hero. Actually, I said this was the worst start, or at least the worst advertising I've ever seen. I don't know why they would go with a handicapped hero. I don't credit she's female or she's black. Okay, they were gonna do that regardless, because that's just the most common. I'm gonna call it this. That's a feminist power move, okay? Because I'm pretty sure that it should be widely known now that at DC headquarters, or whatever you want to call it, they've got some feminist writers up there, or people who are feminists trying to take control over what happens now in comics. And because of that, they're trying to make a whole catalog of new variations of heroes we know, such as the Flash, either as female or as a different race. Like, X out, Batman, who was firstly he's black now, okay? He's Tim Fox. His brother, Lucius Fox, was Batwing, and now they made Tim Fox, his only brother, his only brother really, the new Batman. And that was it's actually a video I'm gonna make on it in probably the end of this week or next week, but don't hold me to it. Like I always say, I'm still working on schedule. But I don't know why it is that people at comics tend to do. Marvel did the same thing actually, but Marvel went in a little bit different route, which was better, quotations around better. For example, it was, I believe, it was about a year ago now actually. Marvel came out with their new little teenage heroes or whatever. I don't even know what to call it. It was just so fucking stupid, truth be told, where they made 2 black heroes. They were twins. It was a male and a female. Both of them had short hair. The guy was pink. The girl was blue. Their theme. And both of them were non-binary. For those who don't know what that means, Oh wait, let me just put up to the warning here. I don't care what you identify as, but don't expect me to agree with whatever it is. Put it like that. So with that being said, let me continue. They made their heroes non-binary. You probably saw a lot of videos on it as it was back then. But just the advertising or even trying to just toss that in there is stupid. I'm sorry, but no one reads comics to say, well, this comic has a gay person or someone who identifies as this. I'm obviously gonna like it. No one fucking does that. That's stupid. Okay, that's just stupid. Okay, say Batwoman fans. I'm pretty sure if you ask a Batwoman fan, which I am not, what they like about Batwoman, they're not gonna say, "Oh, she's lesbian." That's just not gonna happen. If someone does do that, well, I don't know. Maybe there's like the aspect of her. Maybe they're SJW. I can't speak for them, but I'm pretty sure that at least like a good 80% of Batwoman fans, if you ask them what they like about her, the first thing out their mouth is not going to be, "Oh, she's lesbian. I like her because of that." Because insert reason, okay? It's just not going to happen in a normal conversation. Another thing I want to hit up on is this right here, and I don't know why this keeps doing that. I probably gotta do it like this. DC Comics' new non-binary Flash makes their comic debut. Okay, I didn't read this, okay? And honestly, I wanted to try to, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Oh my god. Where do I even begin on this? So, like I just said with this Flash, the handicapped Flash, they're going the wrong way about this, okay? It's one thing to have a character identify as one way, and then say down the road, maybe in issue 5, 6, or 86 for all it matters, they either drop like maybe a panel or a page teaser as to what they are. That's different, okay? That's the kind of representation that people can expect. That's like what they like. It's not forced, it's not out and open, it's not, you gotta make a spectacle about it to try and say, okay, here's a character, here's what they are, yada yada yada. When Superman first came out, granted it was in a different time, no one said, okay, Superman's straight, is he identified as a man? What is he? No one did that, because no one cared. It's a superhero comic. We read the comic because it's a superhero. We want to be superheroes, okay, every now and again. Okay, I don't say I like, what's my favorite character? I can't remember. I don't say I like Superman because I identify him as being white because I'm not white. Okay, I like Superman because the man is able to go against the dark side and throw them hands. Okay, that's why I like Superman. Go back to this. Now, as you can see from the date right here, this is nearly a month old now, maybe a little bit more than a month, probably 32 days exactly. I don't know when this goes up versus when I'm reading it now, but Jess Chambers, aka Kid Quick, makes their first appearance. You see right there? Hold on. All ready to start. Now I know this is like really common wording for anybody, but for those of you who don't know the whole thing when it comes to being non-binary, it basically means no gender. So they don't use he, she, all that mess. They say they, them, their. And that's just like the newest thing. They're probably going to keep it up to that article. I have not read this article at all, by the way. You're reading it with me. Makes their first appearance ahead of becoming the new Flash in DC's Future State Justice League. Here's a little spoiler one. Let me see if I can play this picture. I can't, but okay. So first off, the outfit sucks. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest. The outfit is just horrible. I have not seen a worse Flash variant outfit ever. Okay, Reverse Flash did better than this, and it's just Barry Allen's in a different, with the colors inverted. That's literally what it is. Hey, what's his name? Wallace West. His outfit is similar to this, and it still pulls it off better than whatever this bull crap is. Okay. Hey, well, I'll take that back real quick. The better drawn one to the right of this, right here. Actually, you probably can't even see my cursor now that I think about it. But the better drawn one to the right has a way better outfit than this mess to the left and like the Adobe Shop drawing. Ooh, crap. DC's newest Flash has made their official comics debut earlier last month. DC teased the arrival of Jess Chambers, a new speedster on Earth-11, who will set to become the Flash in upcoming Future State Justice League in their first adventure. Chambers helped save the Justice League and their aunt Jesse Quick from a psychic threat. Chambers will take the role of the future Flash in the upcoming Future State event that will take a deep dive into the future DC Comics universe. The 2-month line-wide event will change the status quo at DC. Now that right there, already. Change the status quo. Who cares? Who actually wants it to change? Who actually cares if it does change? Okay, let me say that back. A lot of people will care if it does change. But to try and say that it will change the status quo as if there's something already wrong with it is just it's blasphemy. Call it the simple like it is. It's blasphemy. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, that's all I'm gonna be right now. Is honest with you, regardless of how it might have me perceived. There's nothing wrong with having a guy superhero. There's nothing wrong with having a straight superhero. There's nothing wrong with having even a female or LGBT superhero or someone that doesn't even identify as whatever gender you believe in. But the problem arises when you try and make it seem like it's some big thing when it's not really at all. Okay, at the end of the day, this is a comic book. Most people are reading a comic book just for the fun of it, or maybe they want to get out their everyday lives by reading something interesting that isn't the book. But when you try and do this, to try and make it like this is what it's about now, it's not about being a superhero, it's about identifying or representing something, that's when the problems come. That's when people start having a problem, and then once you speak out about it, suddenly you're all this hate speech, or you hate this, you hate that. It's just, oh my God, I don't even know where to get into it. I'm not even a big enough channel to really get into it, but anyway, I'm not really even a channel yet. Introducing a number of new heroes and villains who take the roles of legacy heroes, including Chambers, Flash, Yara Flores, Wonder Woman, who the hell is and a Batman whose true identity has yet to be revealed. Actually, it was revealed. Well, this is before it was revealed, but it's revealed as Tim Fox. Before suiting up alongside the Justice League, Chambers made their first appearance in the week's holiday special. Okay, Very Merry Multiverse, issue number 1. I'm actually not going to get into the issue because I didn't read it, and I do want to read it at some point. But it says here that, in this paragraph right here, it hasn't been said how Chambers will come to mainstream continuity. Honestly, unless they do something really crazy that gets me interested, I don't want it. I don't want that to happen. But at the same time, because of how Dark Knight's Death Metal have changed the whole continuity to make everything into an omniverse that happens all at once, so technically everything is canon. After the end of Death Metal, it's canon regardless. Okay, regardless of what they want to say or how people feel, it's going to be canon in its own Earth-11 universe. But it seems likely that things will be forwarded into DC's main universe after the events of multiverse-shaking Dark Knight's Death Metal, giving Kid Quick's connection to the Speed Force. Multiversal travel is also not out of the question. No matter how they get there, in their debut issue, Jess Chambers proved to be a worthy addition to the extended Flash family. They will make their Justice League debut as the Flash in the upcoming Future State Justice League. Now, for all I know, this would be there goes the issue right there. They could be a very awesome Flash. Okay, you see here they're doing all this superhero-y stuff. Like I said, I didn't read it, so I can't really give it input, which I really want to, because it looks. I mean, the art isn't good, but it looks like it could be pretty decent with the, who is that, a Superboy in the back? I can't really tell. Like I said, for all I know, this could be a super, super cool Flash that they introduce now, even put in main continuity, but they try and force a representation that nobody cares about, or at least only a minority cares about. It's not the way to go for any business at all, unless that is your business to try and do that. And on to the next topic I want to get at hand. This is going to be I don't know if it's the second after video, but it's probably the last thing I'm going to go over. Starfire's daughter Mandy and new I'm Not Starfire preview. Now, I probably should have brought the preview up, but anyway, I'm not going to do that right now because I don't feel like editing that much. The creative team behind DC Comics' highly anticipated young adult graphic novel answers questions. Okay, let me right here. When did this start? Okay, there's an artist I follow on Instagram. I'm going to follow him for probably 2 years now. His name is Gabriel Piccolo. He unknowingly started this whole young adult graphic novels thing that they're doing now. When he created, as a little fan project, what was it called? Casual Teen Titans. How do I know? because I was there when he first. Well, I wasn't there when he first created it, but I remember when he created Casual Teen Titans, and then I remember when he posted about it on his Instagram story saying that he was picked up by DC Comics to create it into an actual comic. And his very first one he did, which came out it was like mid last year, early last year, something like that. Took a little swig of my juice. He posted about how DC Comics hired him to make it into an actual thing. So now, Casual Teen Titans is canon. Now, the way this whole thing, as a fan thing that he did, it was cool. Making it real was bad because of stuff like this. Because I didn't read his Raven issue that came out. He's working on Beast Boy, and I haven't read Raven yet. But basically, to give it a quick little sum up of what I got to just tell you, I might be wrong, but what I got to just tell you was Raven lost her parents, is living with, I think, her aunt or something like that, and is going through her whole mental trauma thing from losing her parents, and it's involving something with her powers. But it's not like a standard Teen Titans comic. I think it's like Gotham High, that old thing, if you remember that. But because of that, it's giving rise to this whole what if, like, it's like Marvel's What If, but with DC comic characters, and what if they had children, or what if they were in this scenario. Every time I look at this, I just get irritated. I'm not going to lie to you. See, now, before I want to say anything, let me start. There's a picture of her. A little preview of what it's going to be about. It didn't show. But Starfire and her, in this issue, it's not about Starfire, it's about her daughter. When it comes to offspring, they said the saying goes that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Truth be told, sometimes the apple falls off the tree, rolls down a hill and off a cliff. That seems to be the case in DC Comics' most anticipated I Am Not Starfire young adult graphic novel, which generally their attempt at appealing to a young adult so far isn't even working, from what I have seen. I Am Not Starfire is a story of teenage Mandy and her mother, Kory, aka Starfire, and the two struggle to find common ground. A recent exclusive preview from Entertainment Weekly goes in depth with I Am Not Starfire's creative team and provides a sneak peek to the artistic stylings of this groundbreaking comic book. Now, alright, let me tell you something right now. Just like with Gabriel Piccolo's Casual Teen Titans, this started as a fan comic. And the person who actually drew and made this story looks exactly like her daughter. Older, obviously, but it looks like her. Short, heavy, black hair, short, like bowl cut black hair, if you want to call it that. They're literally, what they said the reason for this was they imagined themselves as Starfire's daughter and just went and wrote a story about it. So fan fiction turned to reality once again. Mandy is a disillusioned LGBTQ high schooler who wears black from head to toe. Basically, she's the exact opposite of her bubbly superhero mom. The legendary Starfire, unbeknownst to Kory, and I read that sentence wrong. I'm not leaving that. I'm not taking that out. Unbeknownst to Kory, Mandy has it all figured out. She's going to graduate from high school, bypass college, and move straight to France. She's so sure of herself. In fact, she walks out on her SATs. Mandy begins to second guess this foolproof plan when she is paired up in class with Claire, a girl who she has admired from afar. Oh, fuck, man. The title of the graphic novel serves as a declaration as Mandy attempts to find herself and overcome the legacy of her Teen Titan mother. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Here we go again, of how DC Comics is ruining their entire brand by trying to force representation on people who don't care for it. These are the kind of things that belong on a Wattpad or a Webtoon or some other app I don't know right off the top of my head when it comes to fan fictions or even personal stories. Because as you can see in this picture here, obviously, when I first saw this, let me tell you, I didn't even know that this was an LGBTQ story until before I started recording, when I was doing a little research before I started, and saw this frame on the preview from the DC Comics website. That made me go, what in the... Man, come on. Now, this is not, like I said, this is nothing against the whole LGBT thing, but like I said, it's one thing to like show a panel or a page or even just one dedicated issue to it as a whole. Like Tracer from Overwatch, she got her was it like a little Christmas comic they made like 2-3 years ago, where she finally came out as a lesbian, but they didn't just like overtly make the entire thing about it. It was one page in her book. They could have did that with this, but nope. The entire story or stories, I don't know if this is a one-off issue or a series they're gonna make. It's about that. Now, it's obvious what this is. I mean, in terms of story, I don't know much, but I know what this is. You see Starfire. She's tall, orange skin, long, beautiful hair, beautiful face, slim body, yada yada yada. And then you get her daughter. For starters, I'm gonna. I said something on Instagram and got a little bit of hate, honestly, but how does Starfire let her daughter get like? You can't control height. Okay, I know that you can't control height. You can't control weight. It can be tough, but it can be controlled, especially if you start at a young age. Starfire didn't do shit. She didn't do shit. I don't know who the dad is. People might think it's Robin. I don't think it's Robin, just because, like I said, Robin was trained into the whole working out thing. So I think this is more of a, if they even address it, Starfire is just letting her kid be like, I want her to live the Earth teen life, which let her end up becoming like overweight. Because if in the preview panels they showed of this, even her daughter as a kid was overweight, and you know they say baby fat, but baby fat can go away. So I am not Starfire. Explores LGBTQ issues, fat shaming, and the difficulties of being a single parent. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Okay, let me say that. Let me take that back. Maybe in this issue they might overtly make it the main topic and over exaggerate how often it happens nowadays, but that's not really something that's big. I mean, how often do you see someone heavy in your day-to-day life, or even just once in every now and again, say once every year, do you actually, it's too much, say once every month, do you actually see someone heavy getting fat shamed in public or on the internet, when it's just like actual, I don't mean cracking jokes, I mean actual fat shaming of God, I wish I could say a Yo Mama joke or like a Yo Mama's heavy joke, but I have none because I didn't grow up like that. But it's just, this is going to be a story that either focuses on, well, we already know it's going to focus on fat shaming, LGBT. I feel like it's going to be one of those stories that focuses on anti-LGBT people in the story, going at her, and probably, what her name was, Claire? I don't even remember. I really don't care. And probably bullying on being fat, which, look, I went to two separate schools that were really, really ghetto growing up. Not once did I see someone get fat shamed legitimately. If you saw anything that was quote unquote fat shaming, it was people cracking jokes and laughing. Even the person getting clowned on was laughing with them. Okay, it was never, oh, you're heavy, yada yada, we're gonna bully you. I never saw that. Never. And I went to some pretty effed up schools. I'm serious. I really wanted to do something that was a family oriented, and I've always wanted to do a mother-daughter story. And oh yeah, that's another thing. Who the heck? They don't really say nothing about the dad, but who the heck is the dad? I really wanted to do something that was family oriented. Blah blah blah. Mother story. I always wanted to do a story about a fat character, and it just kind of evolved from there. Arthur Mariko Tamaki told Entertainment Weekly, Tamaki jumped at the chance to write a book revolving around a mother-daughter who are literally and figuratively from different planets. It just seemed like a fertile ground to do a family superhero story about a kid who is so close to that world but is not part of that world, all because of she herself is not a superhero. I think in the story she's not going to have superpowers. I'm not sure. Don't care. Scroll to see what's it. Okay, right here. Where'd it go? I just saw it. This precedent-setting all-female creative team. There you see, right there. I like that. An all-female creative team. I will bet my entire month of paychecks, they're all feminists. Just because of what the story is about. I will bet it. If they're not, I will be so fucking surprised they can make a decision this stupid. And I'm calling it stupid because this is just a bad, like I said, they're confusing representation, they're confusing good representation with forced, exaggerated representation. That is even common nowadays. You might see if you go somewhere that's like, say the entire town is against it or something like that, or maybe an Eastern country, because I know some Eastern countries are against that, but being that DC Comics is placed mainly in North America, you're not really finding stuff like this on the daily. Heck, rarely the weekly. The precedent-setting all-female creative team will bring a unique perspective and beautiful artistic contrast to this story about loved ones who are polar opposites. In describing the art, Yatoshani told Entertainment Weekly, Starfire is these bright pink and Mandy is these muted blacks. Starfire just takes over everything and you can't help but look at her. Mandy is short and like a muted roar. It's not quieter, it's just a different expression. Now that I can agree with. That's like the one thing I read so far I can agree with. People are just different. Some people look different. Some people act different. That I can agree with. I was one of those kids in school. I like to wear black all the freaking time. I loved it. It may be an outcast, but I sure as heck loved it. Long-time DC Comics fans have expressed curiosity concerning Mandy's paternity. So far, the creative team behind I Am Not Starfire has been silent on the issue. Historically, Corey has been romantically linked to the fellow former Teen Titan Dick Grayson. Tamaki seems to insinuate that Mandy's father could be someone readers have never met before. I'm pretty sure it's going to be some random dude. To be super clear, this is the version of Starfire, not in continuity Starfire. Tamaki told EW it seems that devoted Starfire followers will have to wait until August of 2021 to have Mandy's fatherhood mysteriously solved. If people even still care at that point. But yeah. What is the TLDR of this video? The TLDR is DC Comics is losing touch with what it actually means to write a good comic book and a good comic book character. They think that in order to do that in 2021 or 2020 when this was starting, it was to appeal to minority. Now, the problem with that is if you appeal mainly to the minority, the majority aren't going to give a shit anymore. Okay, it's just a fact. They're not going to care anymore. Say you're at school. A third of the school likes pizza on Wednesdays. 2/3 of the school likes chicken nuggets on Wednesdays. Say this 1/3 of the school gets so pissed off about it, so angry, why don't we ever do this? Why don't we ever see this? Why don't we ever get this? So the school decides, let's just start doing this on Wednesdays. Two times out of the month. They say 2 times out of the month, so 50% of the month when it was every time. The now 2/3 are going to be mad because they were whining. Now they no longer get pizza every Wednesday of the month. And that's basically DC Comics. They're whining, supposedly whining, which I haven't heard nothing about it, that there's not enough female representation or LGBT representation or identifying representation, that they're going to now start making comics about that, taking up staff, whole entire whole entire groups of people to think about these stories, draw them, write them, make them, all that stuff. And it's taking time away from stories that the majority like. Now, sure, maybe the minority or the majority might come together and say, okay, we all like this. Okay? Maybe. You can't please everybody. That's just a fact. But the way they're going about it, per the last year, like I've said, is not good. Especially in the DC TV shows, which I'll do for another video, like how they did Batwoman. That was just horrible down hands. Okay, that's just a fact. Okay, the community for that was toxic. The execution was toxic. Everything was just bad. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll leave timestamps. Well, there's no point in saying that now. It's at the end of the video. If you have some criticisms or disagreements, or you just want to get some advice on what I could do next or how I can improve, comment it down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.